South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. But he died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Well, all right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Thursday, almost Friday. And we come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital, the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show today. It's beginning to look a lot like the holidays here, that's for sure. And it's kind of the quiet before the storm, because as we move through this week and, of course, early next week until Christmas Day, as soon as the folks are done unwrapping all of their presents and getting a nice Christmas dinner with the family, about 340,000 of you will be rolling up here to Las Vegas, Nevada to celebrate all of the great time, the holiday between the Christmas and New Year's Eve here as well in Las Vegas. Got a lot of folks coming out here, 340,000 plus, and we're going to have it'll be a party time for the week between Christmas and New Year's here, as well as all of the great bowl games. This is bowl season, and of course we want to congratulate our UNLV football team, our university here that won last night's bowl game. UNLV wins the L.A. Bowl against California yesterday and did it. And not only did it, but they covered. So all of the fans got to make their bets and cash them as well in winning their bowl game. And plenty more bowl games to happen every day now through. And, of course, the college football playoffs as well. You got the NFL getting into its final weeks for teams that either need to continue to win, or certainly teams that have already made the cut for the playoffs. And, of course, we're all waiting for the day after Christmas when Santa Anita will open on a stellar opening day card at Santa Anita. So a lot of good stuff happening here. We welcome you to the Race Day Show. And, of course, we'll be covering it as we can here from Las Vegas at our studios at South Point. We want to welcome all of our friends as well listening on our radio station, our anchor radio station here in Las Vegas, Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Of course, you know, Sports Talk 1400 AM does the play-by-play for the Los Angeles Rams football team in the NFL. They'll be doing that again this weekend. And, of course, all of our websites and other platforms that we have, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. You can get us on all of those and archived as well. And, of course, we take care of your devices, your iPhone, Androids, and Google phones with the apps. Go to your app store, and you can put the KSHP app on your phone, on your device, I should say. Does anybody use it as a phone anymore anyhow? On your device to listen to us through KSHP. And, of course, if you want to see and listen to us, you go to the YouTube app and stick that on your device. And while you're there and while you're here right now, come to YouTube and the South Point Studios streaming network and click on Race Day. And then if you haven't already, and we say this every day because we have new people listening every day. If you haven't already, then you hit the submit, your subscription button. You just hit the subscription button there and you submit to the subscription. But you hit subscribe. It is free. There's no charge to subscribe. But while you're on the site, if you hit subscribe, then you can join them in the chat box. And the chat box has been very active, for sure. And not only that, but the handicappers on the chat box not only talk about us and what we're doing on the show, but they also give their best picks of the day, or if they have picks, etc., or opinions. So it's a lot of fun to get on the chat box as well at the Race Day Las Vegas portion of the South Point Studios at YouTube. And subscribe, and you'll be all set and go for the chat. And of course, anywhere you get your podcasting, we're there as well. So just wanted to say hello to all the folks there, no matter how you get us, whenever you get us. Talking about I was talking about New Year's Eve here in Las Vegas. You know, it's one of the hottest spots between Las Vegas on the Strip here, and of course in New York at Times Square. Those are two big places to have New Year's Eve celebrations here in the good old U.S. of A. But we got something new this year. Now, if you haven't been to Las Vegas in a while, we have this new building, this new arena called the Sphere. And it's the big Sphere that it's a huge, big, round building. The building is round, and it's a big building, holds concerts and all the other stuff in there. Matter of fact, I think the Eagles are playing there now. You got U2 coming and all that stuff there. But in any case, the entire outer portion of it is all lights. But it's not just lights. It projects pictures and logos and all sorts of stuff. And I'm sure that if you have seen it when it opened up, about a year and a half ago, all of the publicity and all that stuff there. Well, what they're doing this year on the Sphere is they're going to have included in the New Year's Eve celebrations here with all the fireworks and all that. But on New Year's Eve day, they're going to include, the Sphere will have international worldwide countdowns, which means they'll be starting with the first portion of the world that actually goes into New Year's, for New Year's celebration. They're going to start with Sydney, Australia, at 5 a.m. in the morning. It'll have the countdown on the Sphere, starting with Sydney, Australia at 5 a.m. New Year's Eve. And as the day progresses throughout the day, up until the time of midnight here in the Pacific time zone on the Strip, they're going to be doing an international worldwide countdown to New Year's Eve across the world on the Sphere. And that's going to be something. That's going to be something really, really neat about that. So just a lot of great stuff happening here in Las Vegas. Okay, getting to horse racing. By the way, for those of you here in town, for those of you here in Las Vegas, we got something really special happening today here at the South Point. The world famous Budweiser Clydesdales are going to be on display here at the South Point today between 12 noon and 6 p.m., 6 hours of it. The Clydesdales will be here. You can come, pet them, take pictures with them. It's going to be the Clydesdale Day here at the South Point, all free of charge to you. So stop by. These are massive animals. If you think the thoroughbreds are big, you should see these things. I mean, these things look like they should have a zip code. But that's what you got. The Clydesdales are here today. And in case you're here in Las Vegas, you can come and get the Clydesdales. Take pictures with them. All righty. A couple of other things I wanted to mention. Graded stakes races. The Graded Stakes Race Committee that puts these grades on it, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, etc. They had their meeting, and they have distributed the graded system for next year, 2025. Out of all the races they took into consideration, the ones that are already graded to get them reissued, and ones that aren't, that they think should be issued. Here's how it shook out. 415 graded stakes races will be around the country next year in 2025. 415 graded stakes races. And believe it or not, that's 14 less than 2024. So that tells you a little bit about the horse population around the country now, and the more accomplished horses running in these graded stakes races. 415 next year. Giovanni Franco, remember him? Giovanni Franco, who sustained an injury 5 months ago on Del Mar on the 26th of July at Del Mar. He sustained a fractured shoulder. He is back galloping horses, and he said he is ready for his comeback. And Giovanni Franco will make his comeback riding after 5 minute off because of an injury on opening day at Santa Anita. So glad to see Giovanni Franco back. He'll be back on opening day at Santa Anita. Finally, the horse Skinner. You remember Skinner, how everybody thought that this horse was going to, do so well after his big win as a maiden. Well, it took him a long time to get started. As we know, how many races does Skinner run that, that closing kick, but he never got there, etc. Well, he finally gets it. He finally puts it all together. He wins the native diver. In his last race, he wins the native diver for trainer John Sheriffs. And now Skinner has been taken away from John Sheriffs, and he goes to the Sherry DeVoe barn, and she will be running him at the fairgrounds. So after Sheriffs having all this time to finally break the schneid with this horse, in stakes races anyhow, it'll go to Sherry DeVoe. It'll be in Louisiana at the fairgrounds. And he is scheduled, they're thinking about making a start at fairgrounds in the Louisiana Stakes on the 18th of January. And the reason for that, the owners said nothing against John Sheriffs at all. They loved him as a trainer. But they're going for higher purses around the country and for more opportunities to run their horse in stakes races around the country. Again, one of those telltale signs about how the Southern California racing is doing. So that's that. All right. So let's remind you that today on the show we got Jonathan Hardoon. Remember, we got 8 stakes races on Saturday at the fairgrounds. We're going to take a quick, short look at the Gun Runner. That race for 2-year-olds is the only race left in this year, 2024, that holds leaderboard points for the Kentucky Derby when they turn 3 at the beginning of the year. So that'll happen on Saturday. The Gun Runner has 10 Kentucky Derby points attached to it. So we'll take a kind of an overview on that. And then, of course, the 8 stakes races at the fairgrounds on Saturday. We'll be going over those tomorrow with Jonathan Hardoon. And then Gulfstream Park has 5 stakes races on an absolutely blockbuster card at Gulfstream on Saturday. They have grade 2 and 2 grade 3s among the 5 stakes races at Gulfstream. And we'll be taking a look at those races with Jonathan on Saturday, the day of those races. Also coming up this weekend, Laurel Park has 4 stakes races, and Oaklawn Park will have a stakes race as well. So while we wait for racing to resume after the holiday, both in New York and California, plenty of great racing out there left, and looking for winners, as you know we are. Okay, Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Rich Eng will be with us. Richie gave us a nice win yesterday with our UNLV Running Rebels winning their bowl game. They laid 3.5 to 3.5 points, but they won easily. So not a problem there. UNLV covers easily, winning the bowl game. But there is a Thursday night NFL game. It's a good one. Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. And Richie will have a thought about that. And, of course, another horse pick for us. John Linda will be with us before he ventures out here to Las Vegas. He'll be with us in studio tomorrow and Saturday. But he's still in Southern California, and he'll be joining us today, taking a look at prospects for opening day at Santa Anita, etc. He does have a Linda report today for Gulfstream Park. I'm sure we'll get a pick out of that from him as well. And then, of course, Jerry Jackowitz, we had to cut off short because the computer was going to knock us off anyhow yesterday. He was talking about finding key horses for key plays, and he was just getting started, and he'll wrap that up today as well. So without any further ado, on this almost Friday, Thursday race day show, we're going to go to our first break. And when we come back, time to get to your racing menu for today and then off with our handicappers. So don't go away. And don't forget to join us in the chat room at the Race Day Las Vegas show at the South Point Studio Streaming Network at YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and get chatting away. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Back on race day. Just looking ahead for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Friday, there are 8 racetracks on the docket, and on Saturday, there's only 7 of them, but there's, like I said, the 2 big racing days at the Fairgrounds and Gulfstream on the menu. And then next week, if I can get that sheet out, next week, Sunday, there'll be 5 tracks running, Monday 3, Tuesday, Christmas Eve, just 2, and then, of course, no racing on Christmas Day, and we'll be back on opening day at Santa Anita on Thursday. And on that day, there'll be 7 racetracks available. And, of course, everybody will be centering on Santa Anita for that opening day. So as we get through the holiday, after this Saturday, of course, with the big races at the Fairgrounds and Gulfstream. And, of course, we'll start with covering it, and the racing will get hot and heavy for sure after Christmas as Santa Anita opens. But for today, we have your racing menu for you today, and we'll start out by reminding you that the first post times we broadcast on this menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone, because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas in the Pacific time zone. These will be the first post times rolling out in our race book behind us. However, you know, as we told you at the top of the show, we're all over the world. So if you're in another time zone, wherever you're at, adjust to the Pacific time zone, and you'll get the post times right for the first post times for the racetracks today, because we want you to tweak it so you get it right in your time zone. We don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay? Here we go. Here's the menu for today. We begin with Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has remember they had that mandatory payoff on Sunday in their jackpot, so they're going to start that anew. But in any case, Gulfstream Park has 9 races today. They do have a super high 5, a regular super high 5 carryover at Gulfstream of $13,050. That's the super high 5, regular one, $13,050 today. 9 races at Gulfstream and a first post time of 9:20 at Gulfstream. Mahoning Valley Racecourse has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $20,794. They also have a couple of $75,000 stakes races. The Bobby Bricker Memorial goes as the 7th, and the Joshua Radovich Stakes, goes as the 8th race on the card. 2 stakes races today in Mahoning Valley, 8 races, and a first post time of 9:45. Then next comes Fairgrounds. Fairgrounds has 9 races today. The Fairgrounds has a first post time for their 9-race card at 10:45 at the Fairgrounds. Turf Paradise, Phoenix, Arizona. First post time for 8 races, 11:40. They've got a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $61,917. $61,917 in their Pick 6 jackpot carryover. 8 races today. The first race will be a quarter horse race, and races 2 through 7 will be thoroughbreds. First post time at Turf Paradise, 11:40 a.m. Pacific time. Delta Downs will kick in with 10 races. Most of the fields, full fields too, in most of the races. 10 races at Delta. First post time is at 2:50 this afternoon. 2:50 at Delta. And then next comes Turfway Park. Turfway Park, still they get full fields there, man. They got a lot of horses at Turfway Park. Turfway Park, 9 races, full fields in all of them. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $140,326. $140,326 in their Pick 6 jackpot carryover. They have a regular super high 5 carryover of $7,407. 9 races, full fields. First post time is 2:55 at Turfway Park. And then we wrap it up with Penn National. Penn Nat has 8 races, and their first post time is at 3:15. And that's your racing menu for today. Let's get out there. Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my man. Temperatures out here today. By the way, the weather around the country is just fine. There's only snow up there in the Great Lakes area that I know is making its way to your neighborhood there, Jonathan. But it won't get to the East Coast until Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's very cold today, but it's a beautiful day. It's just very cold.
Okay, and of course, I don't know what the temperature is there, but it's 44 degrees here right now. We're going to get up to 69. We're almost at 69 degrees today. It's going to be like, wow, break out the suntan lotion.
Yeah, well, it's 22 degrees here, and it's not going to 60.
Okay. Well, what do you think about the Skinner thing that they sent it off to Sherry DeVoe because they want to get more opportunities and higher purses? You can't blame them, but it's kind of sad that John Sheriffs is taking this horse all through his trials and tribulations. He finally gets it figured out, wins the native diver, and now he's off to the to Louisiana Downs.
Yeah, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people aren't privy to. Sherry DeVoe is married to David Ngordo. David Ngordo is the son of Dottie Ngordo, who manages that stable. And David Ngordo was the one that found Zenyatta, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of like intertwined. And I'm sure, again, there's plenty. It wasn't bad feelings or they took the horse away from him. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So they're like the families are kind of intertwined and they all know each other and are friendly and do business with each other. So it's more than meets the eye, but certainly it's bad news for Southern California. They can't afford to lose one horse, much less a stakes horse. So
yeah,
it's not good.
And that's what I meant really in saying that. It's not so much ill feelings because he did well with the horse, and like you said, there's connections there that make sense, kind of a family affair. But it's another point that's being made for the condition of racing in Southern California right now. They want to go to higher purses and have more opportunities to run his horse.
Well, if you own a horse, that's the idea. You don't go and invest all kinds of money in the game. And if you have an opportunity to run for more money, you're going to take advantage of it. Look at all the trainers that are in Oaklawn and everywhere else that are leaving Southern California. Peter Miller has a whole string there. Peter Uriton has a whole string. He even has horses I see in fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. So everybody seems to be, leaving for one reason or another. And again, no one's going to Southern California. Everyone is leaving Southern California, so they're in trouble.
Well, I will say this, that when you're talking about Peter Miller or Urton, it's not that they have taken a whole stable there. They still have some horses in Southern California, but they are opening
stream.
Yeah, they're opening other divisions and other places with higher purses. And I guess
the good news for Southern California is Richard Dutrow sent 12 horses out there, so at least they're going to get somewhat, of an influx or infusion of some horses from out of town. So Dutrow did send a string out there. Problem is, he appears to be the only one at this time.
Well, I can say this, and I'm going to break this on the show, and I remember that we haven't verified this. I want everybody to know out there. This is almost like a...
official.
This is almost like a tweet, okay, folks? But I did hear from somebody that is in around the racetrack in Southern California that they have on property those horse racing slot machines that they've been using in Kentucky. Those horse. It's not exactly a slot machine, but it's like but it is horse racing. The ones that are providing subsidy monies for Kentucky,
the purses.
Yeah.
Right.
Those machines were sighted on the Santa Anita racetrack.
Ready to go. They were ready to go from what I understand. And now they moved them to another part of the track. I heard that also. So.
Well, here's what happened. I think they were asking for permission or something, and they got denied that. Now, the Indians in California are very powerful with the casino operations there. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're tickling around with doing something like that at Santa Anita. But I'm glad to hear that you heard the same rumor. Okay, let's take a look. By the way, talking about races in other parts of the country, let's take a look at the Gun Runner, which is the only race left this year before these 2-year-olds turn 3-year-olds that actually have 10 points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard for next year. The Gun Runner will be the 7th race at Fairgrounds on Saturday amongst all of those stakes races they have there. $100,000 at 1 mile and 16th on the main track. And there were only 5 horses entered in the race. From the rail out, number 1 is Built, Corey Lannery for Wayne Catalano. The 2 is Render Judgment, Brian Hernandez Jr. for Kenny McPeak. The 3 is Magnitude, Jose Ortiz for Steve Asmussen, Magnitude number 3. The 4 is Chris's Revenge, Jamie Torres for Brittany Russell. And the 5 is Admiral Dennis, Luis Saez for Brad Koch. Admiral Dennis is 9-5 Magnitude is 2-1, and Built is 7-2.
It's a two-horse race, Magnitude and Admiral Dennis. Magnitude actually has been around 2 turns. No one else in the race could say that, so that gives him somewhat of an advantage. And did you notice how Jose Ortiz is riding at Fairgrounds, Ralph? He's winning at about 50%.
Yeah.
It's amazing what he's doing there, but somebody tipped him off to go spend the winter in Fairgrounds, and I'm sure he couldn't be happier.
And it is amazing, too, that, Steve Asmussen uses several jockeys, of course, his sons, and some other jockeys like Luis Saez for big races. But he's got Jose Ortiz riding this horse for him at the fairgrounds. So I think that maybe Ortiz is getting into that barn, at least for his fairground horses. And, so Jose goes to fairgrounds. Irad went back down to Gulfstream, and, he's kicking what down there. I think he had 5 winners on Sunday, didn't he? At Gulfstream?
On more than one occasion, he's had 5 winners so far this meet, and it's only been they started on Thanksgiving, so they haven't been racing all that much, and it already has a couple of 5-day wins. So the Ortiz brothers are controlling from different parts of the country.
But it is interesting that with them riding at 2 separate places, that each one of them are, going to the top of the jock standings in those areas. When they were riding against each other, it was Jose and Irad, first, second, first, third in jockey standings. So there's
and throw Pratt in the mix as well. So if they're all staying away from each other, they're going to be 3 leading riders at 3 different racetracks.
Yeah, that's for sure. And of course, Pratt is, I guess, the leading contender to get finally an Eclipse Award this year, voting for the Eclipse Award. But in any case,
he set every stakes record, and he's going to break Jerry Bailey's season's graded stakes. There, I think they're tied at 55. So he'll be in Southern California for the day after Christmas when they have those 5 stakes races, and look for him to break the record.
Well, the graded stakes races on opening day at Santa Anita include the American Oaks, which is a grade 1, the La Brea, which is a grade 1, the Lafitte Pincay Junior Stakes, a grade 2, the Malibu is a grade 1, the Mathis Mile is a grade 2, and the San Gabriel is a grade 2. So there are 6 graded stakes races on opening day at Santa Anita, and you got to think that Pratt, if not having a mount in each and every one of them, probably has a mount on the favorite in some of them. So
for sure, that's why he's a big favorite. He's like 1-9 to break the record.
So it's a 2-horse race in the Gun Runner.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Magnitude and Admiral Dennis.
All right. Now you got a full sheet. You got 2 of them today. You doubled your output from yesterday. You've got a full sheet at the fairgrounds and a full sheet at Gulfstream. So I would imagine that we'll get a pick from you at each of those tracks today.
Yes, let's go to Gulfstream race number 5. And this, Ralph, is a terrific betting race here. Trainer George Abreu has 2 horses in the race. He has Highway Harmony, who Irad Ortiz is riding, and who's the 2-1 morning line favorite. But he also has the number 6 horse in here, Arise Ama, the 6 horse. She's listed at 12-1 on the morning line. I would make an exacta box, both Abreu horses, the 6 and the 9, and bet the 6 Arisayama to win anywhere near that price. I like number 6 Arisayama to upset the 5th race.
You're going with the old adage, the gambler's adage, the hidden entry, take the bigger price.
The other Baffert horse in the race, but there's no Baffert. It's Abreu.
It's another Abreu there. All right, so in the 5th race, your pick to make the win bet is the 6 Arasayama, and that's the 6 horse at 12-1 with Raylu Gutierrez aboard. And his other horse, the 9 Highway Harmony, at 2-1 with Irad Ortiz Jr. You can't leave Irad out. So
no,
you're doing an exacta box 6-9-9-6, but of course you're taking the value as far as the win to see if you can beat Irad, and that is with the 6 horse, right?
Yes, sir. Perfect. Perfectly analyzed.
Okay, let's go to the fairgrounds, Nolans.
Let's look at race number 7, a mile on the main track, and I like the number 5 horse in here, Silk. Silk is a 3-year-old filly from the Brad Cox barn. Interesting horse, 5 career starts, 4 of them, 3 of them actually on Tapeta, 1 of them on turf. Her only race on real dirt, which she's running on today, she ran huge. Returns to the dirt today, she's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. I like number 5, Silk, to win today's 7th race out of Fairgrounds.
All right, 7th race at the Fairgrounds, number 5, Silk. Hope she is smooth as silk with the win there.
Smooth.
The 7th race, the 5-horse at Fairgrounds. And remember, folks, he's got full sheets for both Fairgrounds and Gulfstream. And I guess, okay, tomorrow we're going to go over the Fairgrounds races, and then on Saturday we'll go over the Saturday stakes races at Gulfstream, because I understand that's going to be a hell of a card on Saturday.
It really is. They already drew, obviously, so they're waiting for the odds to come up, but they look like good races.
Wow. Can you just imagine slot machines at Santa Anita?
You could imagine it. Hopefully it'll someday happen.
Yeah. Okay.
They need it desperately, Ralph. They need it. They need a shot in the arm. They need help really bad.
Yeah, it's a great place, too.
By the way, an interesting thing happened yesterday. I read Frank Alvarado won the last race ever at Bay Meadows, and then he won yesterday the last race ever at Pleasanton. And he's been riding forever. He's been riding up there. He's a terrific rider for many, many years. Frank Alvarado.
Frank, well, thank you so much for that. That is a nice little tidbit there. You can probably win a drink at the bar with that trivia question.
At least. Yeah. Maybe a hot dog at the hot dog stand.
There you go. You can always get the hot dogs at the hot dog stand here at the
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You got to on the weekends, though, with the all the action going on in the sports book, you got to stand in line. They're just
it's worth it, though.
Yes, it is. The great hot dogs here. Hey, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
All right, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're in search of Rich Eng, who gave us the winner for our UNLV football team yesterday in the bowl game. But we got another NFL game tonight. We're wondering what he's going to say. Don't go away.
Here we are in Houston, opening up our first veteran village. This beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risks their lives and they're struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space, and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
No service member who has put on a uniform and served our nation should be without a home and the services they need. I'm Dave Portnoy, and I'm asking for your help. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation promises to eradicate veteran homelessness across the country so that no service member who has served our nation will be without a home and the services they need. That's why I'm asking you to contribute $11 a month to support these efforts by going to T2T.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Okay, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this almost Friday, Thursday. We're going to get to Rich Eng. Just a reminder out there, folks, this is a cornucopia of football games now. We're into the big bowl season for all the college football. By the way, the college football playoff, the big one, the college football playoff, the first of those games in the series to get to the college football playoffs, the first of one of those games, Indiana, Notre Dame, that happens tomorrow. And then on Saturday, the other three that go in the first round. So you got that going for you. You got the bowl games going for you. And the NFL, They've got a game tonight. They got 2 games on Saturday, a full roster on Sunday, and, of course, the Monday Night Football game as well. And then they're going to have a couple of football games, I understand, on Christmas Day. So there's a lot of action going on with football. And our man is taking care of all of that is Rich Eng. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners. And yes, Ralphie, I will try to find a football play every day throughout the winter because there's so many games, college and professional, going on through the championship game of the college football playoffs and eventually the Super Bowl in the NFL.
I got to tell you, Richie, it was nice to see the broadcast last night. Not only did the UNLV look real good against Cal in winning their game, but they also previewed and talked to the new coach, and that guy sounds like he's got all of his act together, and he really he really said a lot about how the football team has come along for the 2 years that the previous coach had it, and that they're ready to really try to make the playoffs for the college football next year. So we've got a lot of good things going there. That's for sure. But boy, do we have a lot.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say if during the interview, Ralph, they put his resume up on the sidebar,
Yeah.
and he's got championship rings. He won 2 national championships with Urban Meyer at Florida.
Yep.
He was his offensive coordinator. He had a winning record during his time at Mississippi State, and he had a winning record in his time at Florida. He's a good football coach. He's been out of the game for 3 years as far as coaching, and you could tell he's hungry to get back to the sidelines.
And I can tell you, between showcasing the team now with the great, practice facilities that we have here, and of course playing in Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, now they're going to attract some good people. I think we're on the right track to have a really great, very competitive football team, UNLV. Congratulations to UNLV and all the folks involved there. Tonight, we got a Thursday night NFL game. The Broncos will be visiting the Chargers in the same building that they played the bowl game last night at the SoFi Stadium. So that'll be a home game for the LA Chargers. And how do you see this game?
Well, I saw on the chatter box that one of the chatters correctly pointed out that one of my future book bets before the start of the season was the Chargers over 8 wins. They're standing at 8-6. They've kind of stubbed their toe the last couple of weeks, but thank goodness the end of the season, Ralph, with games against the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders. So I expect to win at least one of those. But as far as tonight's game, it's the last home game of the season against the Broncos. They are the 6 and 7 seed right now in the wild card. This is a huge, huge game with playoff implications. You know, the way I looked at how they played last week, the Broncos, quite frankly, were outplayed by the Colts, but the Colts made 2 ridiculous plays.
Yep.
One was when the kid Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball on the 1-yard line before crossing. So instead of a touchdown for the Colts, it rolled out the back of the end zone. And 2 was when the Colts were still in the game, they threw that stupid razzle-dazzle pass that a Denver Bronco intercepted and ran 70 yards for a touchdown. So the Broncos were not impressive last week. They had less than 200 yards in total offense, and Bo Nix threw 3 interceptions. On the Chargers side, Ralph, they actually dominated the first half against Tampa Bay. They had a 17-10 lead at halftime, and then they got absolutely just run over the top of 30-0 in the second half. Jim Harbaugh's too good a coach. I think he'll fix whatever problems they had in that second half. They need to run the football, and I think they will today against the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Chargers -3.
Well, then you're predicting that you're going to cash that bet tonight instead of the next two weeks. So the Chargers at home -3 right now is your play, right?
Yes, it is. And, the key stat to watch, if you're looking at your computer and stats, the Chargers need to run the football. In other words, if Justin Herbert needs to throw the ball 40, 50 times, the Chargers are going to lose. They need to run balance, maybe 30 runs, 30 passes, and keep the Denver Broncos defense honest.
All right, there you go. Now time to get a pick from me, and we'll let you go.
Race 9, Gulfstream Park. It's a route race on the turf. Let's go with the number 4, Strand of Gold. 2-1 in the morning line, kind of chalky, but Nolan Ramsey is the trainer. He's the son of Ken Ramsey. Irad Ortiz, I heard you guys talking about Irad earlier. This horse dropping way down in class, should get a nice trip. Number 4, Strand of Gold, race 9.
Ninth and final today at Gulfstream Park. Number 4, Strand of Gold, hopefully gets the gold for us in the 9th race, the 4-horse at Gulfstream Richie's Play. And, of course, he'll be back in Southern California with the full cards when Santa Anita starts day after Christmas. But he'll be back with us tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Good luck, everybody.
All right, short break, and then we're going to wrap it up with John and Jerry. Don't go away.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, time to get out to Southern California, but that'll be today. He'll be here with us tomorrow. John Lindo, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
Doing fine, my man. Getting ready to come on up for the weekend here in Las Vegas. And you have a sheet today, a Lindo report for Gulfstream Park that they can get here at the South Point Racebook, covering all the races, the suggested late pick 4. And, of course, when you start each and every week on a racetrack, you usually give us the update on the jockey trainer standings, etc., to give folks a little bit of idea who's hot at the track at the time. All on one sheet. It's the Lindo report today for Gulfstream Park. And only in one place in Las Vegas, Nevada, in this gaming capital, there's only one place you can get the Lindo report. That's here at the South Point, free of charge, complimentary, because they love horse players here. And, John, I guess we'll start out with... I wanted to ask you, before we get started with the Gulfstream stuff, I wanted to ask you about something that happened at Los Alamitos on closing day. Starter Brinson got knocked down by a horse that broke through the starting gate, didn't he?
Yeah, Gary Brinson starts the races at Los Alamitos standing just in front of the starting gate on the ground, by the rail. And a horse in that race broke through the gate, hung an immediate left, and ran right into him, and he got knocked into the rail, and he had a big cut over his eye that was from the bit of the horse. Mm-hmm. He went to the hospital, got 11 stitches, came back to the track, and actually was the starter for the Los Alamitos $2 million fraternity that night. So Gary Brinson cowboyed up. He's one tough son of a gun, and glad to hear he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and if anybody knows about Gary Brinson and the Brinson lineage, the Brinson family, they know they're tough dudes, boy, and they wear those boots, the Wranglers, and those cowboy hats just the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, they're old school. They go out there and get it done. Yeah.
All right, leaderboard at Gulfstream Park for the championship meeting.
Going into this week, Red Ortiz is taking over as the leading jockey. That's no surprise. He's got 22 winners now. Edgar Zayas is second with 14. Edwin Gonzalez has 12 wins, and Tyler Gaffaleone starting to work his way up the board. He's got 10. As far as the trainers go, Safi Joseph Jr. is clear. He's got 13 winners. Jose D'Angelo has 8, Mark Cassie has 7, and so does Antonio Sano. So those are your leaders there. And for you, Ralph, favorites are winning at 38% for the Gulfstream Champions meet.
All right, okay, I can put up with 38%. That's a little bit higher than I want, but that's okay because most of those favorites are being won by Red Ortiz Jr. anyhow, and you can't stop that guy. That's something else. All right, today Gulfstream Park, you got a sheet out there, and we'll get your pick, and then I want to talk a little bit about opening day Santa Anita.
You got it. As far as the race today, I'm going to go to race number 8 at Gulfstream Park, and we're going to use the productive race angle here. Number 4, Adios Now, exits the stakes race at Presque Downs. He ran a good 4th that day. That race has already produced 4 next out winners. He gets Lasix back, drops in with Florida Bridge today, and both of his career wins have been on the Tapeta at Gulfstream Park. A lot of positives here. 4-1 on the program. Number 4, Adios Now, race 8, Gulfstream Park.
8th race at Gulfstream. You like the 4. Adios Now. I hope he says adios to his competitors and wins easily. The 4 in the 8th race at Gulfstream. Don't forget, John Lindo, a full Lindo report right now here at the South Point, free of charge for Gulfstream. John, taking a look, I know that you said they're going to draw for all those big races on opening day at Santa Anita today. And it looks like the Malibu is going to come up strong with the Mystic Dan and Stronghold among the horses entered for that race.
Right. And one thing you have to keep in mind, Ralph, without the Tex Sutton horse transportation, the airline flights, horses around the country now are flown via FedEx of all things.
Oh, my.
But this is December, and they don't have any flights in December because of all the Christmas packages. Nothing in December till the beginning of the New Year. So Mystic Dan is shipping by van out to California. I think he's supposed to get there today. It's a 2-day ride. So it's not an easy ship. So you got to remember that on all these horses coming out for these big races this first week at Santa Anita. They're not getting out here the usual way.
It's just like if you apply it to humans. The humans, if you take a car ride and you drive cross country for 2 or 3 days, you know how you feel at the end of the trip. And it's the same thing versus flying for 4 or 5 hours. Same thing with the horses. So that's a good note to have for opening day. All right, John. Well, we'll have you in studio tomorrow, and we'll go over those races as they draw them today.
You got it, Ralph. We'll look forward to seeing those entries later on this afternoon.
And we're looking forward to seeing you here in studio. Have a safe trip, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Great, Ralph. See you in the morning.
All right, you got it, my man. Now we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz, who will finish up his thoughts about looking for key play horses when you're betting, as we started yesterday. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Ralph. So yesterday we were talking about not betting obvious horses. Yep. And that was sort of the first idea that I wanted to get out. If you're betting a horse, for example, that ran really well at that class or a little bit above class, had a good finish, was gaining in the stretch. And when you compared that, just did a quick comparison about that last race to all the other horses, their last race. If that's the best race, it's a bad horse to bet. Not because the horse can't win, but because the horse is going to be overbet by everybody. Because everybody can see that horse. And if everybody can see it, your price is always going to be below what it needs to be or what it should be. And that's the first rule of understanding how to find a pop-out key. Pop-out key is not like my daily feature play, where very often they have the best race of everybody else, and they're going to be right away 2-1 or less, instantaneously. But for me, as talking on the show, it shows people a handicapping angle they can look at and become familiar with. But they shouldn't be betting it if it continues to stay low in price. And so what we're trying to find is horses that, as I call, are buried form or have hidden form or are just not obvious. And that's the first rule of finding a pop-out key. If you can find horses that aren't obvious to everybody, aren't the most obvious horse in the race, you've heard the term master of the obvious. Mm-hmm. If you can find horses that don't make you the master of the obvious, you actually have a chance to win money at this game and to do it very successfully. Of course, it is a little lower percentage play, so we like to use the win place method of exactas to build out our frequency.
All right, we got about a minute left, but now you said they're not obvious horses. And you say sometimes they're hard to find. So for a handicapper going out there and saying, okay, I want to find a horse that's a key play and it can't be obvious, what criteria would you give them? I mean, how would you start to look for that type of horse?
Well, I would start with, as I said, find the horse with the best race in the field. Mm-hmm. And put an X in him right away. The horse that actually ran the best race last time in.
All right, that's disqualifying or putting,
right.
pushing out.
Okay, well, the things Okay, well, it takes a lot of handicapping qualities, but the first thing I would look at, well, it depends. I mean, the field of ideas is so big. Let's say we're dealing with young horses. I would look for a horse that maybe ran about half of a good race the first time out. Second time out, didn't do as well. And maybe in the third race, we could see an improvement off of that first race. That would be an example. Very often, if you'll see, I mark down this horse is in the third race of his career or third race of his racing cycle. And we get a lot of pops to the upside when horses go into their third or sometimes fourth race in a racing cycle. So let's say a horse has raced 10 times and took a layoff of like 3 months and then comes back. The first race is the second race is third race, maybe that's the place where the horse is going to run better. And if we see something in that second race that tells us he has improving form, maybe a little early speed, or maybe he made a wide move and tired, then we see that the trainer has now got him into some sort of shape and he can place him in the third race somewhere where he's got a chance to do better and maybe get first or second at a price.
Okay.
And that's an example of what I would be talking about. It's one of the angles I like, is third race in a cycle.
Understand. Thanks for the thoughts there. I want to remind everybody here in Las Vegas, the Clydesdales are here. You can take pictures with them, pet them, and all that stuff. The Clydesdales are here from noon to 6 o'clock today here at the South Point. Go see the Clydesdales free of charge and get a picture with them and all that good stuff. In the meantime, until tomorrow, Jerry has one more thing to say.
Have a great race day, everybody.